Okay, so today we are going to look at data analytics. So one more time, my name is Bright Agbor. So I'll be an instructor for this training. So this is a table of contents, what we are going to learn in our first introductory class. We are going to learn what is data, types of data, what is data analytics, types of data analytics, data analysis process, who is a data analyst. After practicing these skills, where can I work as a data analyst? Where can I practice my skill as a data analyst? What tools am I going to use to analyze this data? And the last is going to be Q&A, which means question and answer section. So the very first slide is what is data? So data is a collection of facts. This could be your age, gender, your grocery list, amount of hours you sleep, number of calls you make and receive. So most of us generate data knowingly or unknowingly. So there is this trending app or there is this app I saw in my friend's phone. It count number of steps you make each day. So that is data. So that app is trying to get data. Number of steps you make each day is form of collecting data. Even your call log, you have your phone, a record number of missed call, number of received call, and so on and so forth. That is data. So data is a collection of facts. Anything and everything you do in life is data. We move to the next slide. What we have here, types of data. So the first we have quantitative data. Quantitative data has to do with something you can count, something you can measure, or something you can count, like how many people took part in the event, how much does iPhone cost, how much does iPhone 16 or iPhone 17 cost, average attendance at each conference section. So types of data as a data analyst, we have the quantitative data, which has to do with numbers, something you can count. Something you can count is what we know as quantitative data. The next slide here is what we have quality. So the next slide is what we have qualitative data. So this has to do with qualitative data is information about qualities, feelings, or opinion about a product or services. Unlike quantitative data, this type of data can be counted. So when you as a data analyst, you can get either quantitative data or qualitative data. This has to do with what you are trying to analyze or what you're trying to find out. So you can also say that qualitative data has to do with emotions or with feelings, right? So during the bank upgrade, I received a mail from my bank asking me to take a few minutes to answer the survey. So all the questions were all about qualitative data. They were asking me about my feelings about the upgrade. Can I recommend your bank to other customers? What are the necessary steps do I think they can put in place to improve their services? So those are qualitative data that I'm trying to get. So my answer is going to be based on emotions, right? It can be generally true or false. It can be based on emotions. During that particular period when I'm feeling that data could be either not feeling, I could be stressed or sad or something. So I could just pick up something and just fill up the form and go. So it has to do with emotions. So that is one thing about qualitative data. It has to do with emotions. So the next form here, the next slide here, we have forms of data. So data can come in two different forms, structured data and unstructured data. So you can see here that structured data comes in rows, comes in a table, is well organized. It comes in the form of a table which consists of columns and rows. So this is structured data. While unstructured data doesn't come in a table format like this, it comes in form of a text, an email, images, audio files, log files, video files, and the rest. So these are what we call unstructured data. So as a data analyst, 99% of your data you're working with is going to be structured data. 99% of data you will come across is going to be structured data. So now the next slide is what is data analytics? This is the process of analyzing raw data to draw out meaningful, actionable insights, which are then used to inform and draw smart business decisions. So all companies rely on a data analyst to help them draw insights from their data, right? So no company can make decision without data. Before you can make any decision in anything, you need data to do anything. So that's what they did. That is what data analytics is all about. The next slide, we have types of data. The next slide, we have types of data. We have descriptive data. We have diagnostic, and types of data analytics, descriptive analytics, diagnostic analytics, predictive analytics, and prescriptive analytics. So the next slide, I'm going to explain each of these types of analytics one after the other. The very first is we have descriptive analytics. So this is the foundation of all data inside. This has to do with what happened in the past, right? Okay. Does someone have a question? Okay. So descriptive data tends to answer questions, what happened in the past questions. That's what descriptive analytics is all about, trying to answer what happened in the past. So this type of analytics deals with the what happened question. This involves summarizing and presenting historical data to provide findings into past events or trends. Example, yearly revenue reports. So now this descriptive analytics has to do with past events. You can analyze past events and make the decision on it. So that's what descriptive analytics is all about. The next one here, we have diagnostic analytics. Yeah, this analytics focus on what happened, what really happened. So let's assume the revenue for, let's say, iPhone dropped, the sales of iPhone dropped in first quarter of 2024. So diagnostic analytics is going to answer that question. Why did the sales of iPhone drop? So that is the duty of diagnostic analytics, going to diagnose into the data and find out the reason why the sales in iPhone dropped. So that's what diagnostic analytics is all about. So the next slide here we have is predictive analytics. Here, the data analyst focuses more on what is likely to happen in the future. Question. Here, the analyst makes use of historical data and statistical modeling and forecasting to make prediction of future outcomes. Example, how much the company revenue is likely to increase or decrease in a given period. So let's go back to our iPhone example where we give. In this predictive analytics, the data analyst can make prediction on what is going to happen in the nearest future, right? So this has to do with statistical modeling and forecasting, right? So the data analyst is going to, based on the data analyst has collected, the analyst can forecast the sales of iPhone the next 3 years or the next 4 years, and so okay, the next 2 to 3 years, the sales of iPhone is going to drop 20%, going to drop 30%, going to increase by 10%, going to increase by 40%. So that is the duty of predictive analytics. It's going to predict. You're not really certain that it's going to happen. You're not a fact, it's not like a prediction, you're going to forecast. So that's what predictive analytics is all about. It's going to forecast what is likely to happen in the future. So here is what we have prescriptive analytics. So yeah, the data analyst, after doing every other thing, the next thing is going to do, which is the last thing, is to give recommendation. So yeah, the data analyst is going to give the stakeholders or the client recommendation on what to do. So that's what the prescriptive analytics is all about. You can, after analyzing your data, you can give recommendation. For example, back to our iPhone scenario we give. Okay, for Apple to increase their sales of iPhone in Nigeria, you need to cut down the price like 50%. You need to do flash sales. You need to do promo and so on and so forth. So that's what the data analyst is going to do by giving recommendation or advice that can lead to successful results. The next slide here, we have data analysis process. So before you start analyzing your data, you must pass through these processes. So the process of analyzing data involves a systematic approach that involves several stages. is crucial to ensure accuracy and usefulness of the results. So as a data analyst, these are the steps or the process you must pass through for you to analyze your data. So you can't jump one to another. You must pass through this. You must pass through these 6 steps for you to, or these 6 processes for you to analyze your data. So any questions so far? Let me stop sharing. So okay. Tinwen.
Okay, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Okay, my question is this last one. You said that data analytics must ask question, then you collect data. And my question now is the person you are going to ask the question, is it including the teams that is in the company or a random person?
Okay. So if a company hire you to analyze their data, that they want to throw the question to the company, like ask them a question, what do you want me to bring out from your data? Right? You're going to ask the company, your client. We call it stakeholders. Stakeholder here means either the MD of the company, the CEO of the company, or the marketing manager. So we call it stakeholder in data analytics. We don't call it client, but stakeholder is different. You need to ask your stakeholder the question. What do they want to find out from the data? What insight do you want me to bring out from your data? So that's the question you are going to ask your stakeholder. So that is the first stage, which is the ask. The first process with the ask stage. You need to ask question. So James and Efiok. Okay. Imefiana, have I answered your question? Imefiana?
Okay, good evening, sir. Yes, I just wanted to tell you that you should please slow down a bit. Slow
Okay,
down,
okay. All right.
yes.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So Chizoba.
Hello.
Yeah, Chizoba.
Yes, please. I want to ask in the process of maybe, okay, I want to get data, maybe by asking questions. Maybe at the end I get the data. Then how do I know as per the column forming a table or a sheet? How do I know what I'm going to use as their heading, as in column names, not really headings, column names of each of the cell?
Okay. All right. Thank you for that.
Or am I going to be given the column names?
Okay, I'll answer that question. When you are when we are in the lies in data collection, we are collecting the data. So that's what your question is. So when you want to collect the data, they are going to be working on structured data. The data has been programmed already for you. Data has been programmed by the database administrator, already in columns and rows. It has been structured already. You don't need to start working on it. It has been structured already for you. Not for you to request from the database administrator to grant you access to their database. They can extract the data.
Okay, but what if there's a situation whereby you're not given the raw data for you to analyze and you're expected to get the data by yourself? They only told you what they want you to do for them.
Okay. In such a situation, you need to that is your question still lies in the data collection. So you need to go outside and collect data. But the data you collect from within the company is what we call internal data because it's within the company. So let's go back
Yeah.
to our iPhone example. So if Apple, for example, wants you to analyze their sales data, if they give you their data for you to work on, that is what we call internal data.
Okay.
If they don't have that data within their company, you need to go out and pay companies to give you data. That's what we call external data. You need
Okay.
to pay and get data. So there are some companies that sells data. You need to pay
Okay.
them and get your data. So one
Okay.
example is if you see most of these things are browsing the internet, you see what we call cookies. Click cookies or something cookies, right? So that is data. So those companies are trying to get data from you. So that's one of the examples. You need to go and get data if the company doesn't have data. So, and if you're your hand was raised.
Yeah. Yes, it was raised. I think my question has been answered. Thank you.
All right. So any other question before we proceed? Okay, James and Efiok. Okay, Rihama. Rihama, you can answer a question. Hello, Rihama, can you hear me? You are muted. Any other question before we proceed? Okay, Chinwe.
Sorry, sir, like the answer you gave to the last person that asked question, that if the company if they were unable to give you the data, you can there is a place you can get the data. Well, my question now is there a particular company that provides a data that corresponds to the, for example, now you're working for a company and they want to present the data for them and they don't have the accurate data, and like you said, you pay outside to get the data to give them what they want. My question is that would the company you pay outside give you the accurate data?
Yes, they will. They deal on data. They'll give accurate data based on what you're looking for. They'll give you data based on that. So it's not common here in Nigeria. It's not common in Nigeria. It's mostly common in the US, Canada, UK, and so on. So such thing is not common here in Nigeria. Any other question? Okay, Chisoba. Chisoba, you have the floor.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, ma.
Okay.
I can hear you.
Okay, now I want to ask, for example, now I want to work on a project, maybe a topic, let's say with this economy now, impact of subsidy removal on Nigerian economy now, for example. Now, how do I go about gathering the data? Is there any organization or office in Nigeria that I can go and get the data from them?
Okay, I think you can try Bureau of Statistics. You have data for you. You have data for all things, Bureau of Statistics. You should have data for that, yes.
Okay. All right, no problem, sir.
So you can as well use Google Form and get data from your friends. You have to use Google Form, set a question with it and send it to your friends to answer the question, to answer the survey. So people do that a lot. If you join a community, someone might paste a link asking you to help answer the survey. You want to use it for analysis or something else. So that's the one way you can get your data.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other question? Okay. All right, colleague.
Okay, good evening.
You're welcome.
Okay, my question is this. I think there's this lady that asked the question, but I think I'm still confused. Now the question is, I work in a company now and they want me to analyze probably the sales they make in a month or in a year. You know, to me, I felt those things is actually inbound. Should I say inbound or internal data that I will need from maybe their finance, the sales management, the sales department, and all of that, or the marketing department. And yet you said we need to go to a company to download it for us or to buy from them. Like, I'm still confused with that answer.
Okay, all right. Like the example you gave, if you are working with the sales data, for example, the company should be able to have that, right?
Yeah.
So I say that if the company should be able to have that, but I say that it depends on the question you want to answer before you can go out and get an external data, right? If your
Okay.
question falls in sales quantity, sales
Yeah.
rep,
Yes,
everything,
what
that
you're
is an
doing.
internal. Yeah, these are internal data. Company has that. Every company should have that. Those
Okay.
are
Okay.
internal data. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay. I know.
anything outside that, you need to get it from get an external data from companies. That's sales
Okay.
data.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So any other question? Okay, so we'll proceed. All right, can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So the first stage is you need to ask question. That's the first step. If a client or your stakeholder calls you, you need your services as a data analyst. The first thing is for you to ask question. What do you want me to do? What insight do you want me to bring out from your data? That's the number one step you need to do. You need to ask question. So the number two step, yeah. So the number two step is data collection. So like all the questions you guys ask yourself is data collection. You need to collect data. After asking the question, the next step for you to do, you need to collect your data. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
No.
Yes. No.
All right. Can you all hear me now?
No.
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
Yes.
So all right. So the second process is data collection.
I can't
After
see the screen.
ask your
I can't see your screen.
okay, I think it's network from your end. Let me stop sharing and share again. Okay, let me stop sharing and share again. Okay, let me share again now. Can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Yes, we
Yes.
can see it.
Okay. After you've asked your stakeholder the question, the next process is you need to collect your data, what we call data collection. So you need to collect data from either internal data or external data, but you need to get data to answer that question. That is the second process. The next process we have is data cleaning. You need to clean this data. So like the icon I have here, you don't need to clean it with a mop and a bucket. So you need to clean your data using some functions and formula, which you are going to learn that for the end of this week. So you need to clean your data. So you can use Excel or SQL to clean your data. So when a data analyst talks about cleaning data, this has to do with removing duplicates, removing errors, removing everything that will make your data inaccurate for analysis. So you need to clean your data. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So the third process is data clean. You need to clean your data very, very well. So in data analysis, cleaning data can take 80% of your time, depending on how large, on how wide, and on how dated the data set is, on how you can get information about that data. So data cleaning is a process you must pay absolute attention to. After that is for you to analyze your data. After you clean your data, the next process is for you to analyze your data. So you must pay critical attention to this analysis. This way you can use your charts, your bar charts, your line charts, your pie chart, and so on to analyze your data and answer those questions. So that's the next step. After cleaning your data, you now go into the analysis process, which has to do with using chat to answer those questions your stakeholders ask you to answer those questions. So the next we have here, is share, the share process. So after you finish analyzing your data, the next thing you have to do, you need to build what we call a dashboard. You need to build a dashboard where you can share to your stakeholders and other members of the team, of the company that hired you. So you need to share your analysis with them. So you can only do that using a dashboard to share your analysis to your stakeholders. So the last stage process is what we call recommendation, the act process. So after you finish sharing your dashboard and after you've done everything, the last step for you to come up with a recommendation to give to your stakeholders, you can come up with something like, after analyzing this data, I found out that sales of iPhone dropped in northern Nigeria due to the low income rate in the northern Nigeria. That's those people in northern Nigeria, they don't earn high income. So that's why sales of iPhone dropped. So you also come up with a recommendation that, okay, due to that, they should bring down the price to 50% of the price, or they should do promo or flash sales or any other thing. So that is the act process, which is the last place. You need to give your stakeholders recommendation based on what you have discovered from the data. So now, the person that does all those things, collect the data, clean it, and do everything, is what we call a data analyst. So can you all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, sir.
So like the image
Yes,
I have
sir.
here. So this is the data. So this is the data analyst. This lady is a data analyst. So these are stakeholders. These people watching here, watching the presentation, are what we call stakeholders. So the data analyst is someone who collects, process, analyze, and interpret data sets using any BI tool to solve business problems. So BI tools is what we call Excel is a BI tool. BI tool, they stand for business intelligence tools. What we use to analyze your data, what we call BI tools. So Excel is a BI tools. Power BI is a BI tools. Tableau is a BI tools. You can use any of these BI tools to solve business problem. That is what a data analyst is all about. So we have here tools for data analysis. So we have Excel, we have SQL, and we have Power BI. So Excel and Power BI are BI tools, while SQL is a query language. So before the end of this class, you're going to learn how to use your SQL and your Power BI to analyze your data. So now, where can I practice my skill after this class, after this 1 month training? Where can I work? Where can I apply for a job after this training? So data analyst, where you can work as a data analyst. Data analyst can work everywhere and anywhere. You can work in the school, you can work in retailers like slash e-commerce, which is Amazon, Jumia, Konka, you can work there. So those that have background in medicine, those that are in medical school, you can work in the hospital as a medical analyst. You can also work in the bank. If you have knowledge in economics or accounting, you can work as a financial analyst. Even if you don't have a knowledge on that, you can take a course on Coursera and everything on financial analyst to work in a bank. You can work in an airline company. You can work in a hotel. You can also work in a manufacturing company as a supply chain analyst. So you can work everywhere. There's no way a data analyst cannot work. You cannot find a job. You can find a job everywhere. So, all right. So questions and answers.